everyone, and welcome back to A Spectrum of Color. It's the podcast that celebrates the vibrant lives of individuals with autism and the families who support them. I'm your host, Janet Jones Jordan, and the goal of this podcast is to explore stories, share experiences, and provide resources for you and your family. Our guest today is Miss Ashley Dudley. Ashley is not only a board member of Calculated Pathways Incorporated, but she's also a self-advocate and one of the driving forces of our organization. Ashley is going to take us on a little journey today. She's going to talk about her diagnosis as an autistic female. And for those autistic female listeners that we have out there, you may be able to relate to her story. So Ashley, as CEO of Calculated Pathways Incorporated, I am so honored and blessed to have you with us on today. I know that I shared a little bit of information about you, but if you can share more information about yourself and your background.
Sure, yes, it's an honor. My name is Ashley Dudley, and my story is very unique as I was diagnosed later in life. A little bit about me, I'm an Army brat. I was born in Frankfurt, Germany, traveled all over the world, don't remember anything since I was a baby. I did go to school here in the United States of America. Not over in Germany. I don't remember that. But anyway, I was born early too, 4 months early. So that also led to some learning disabilities in school. I had to be in special education. So I knew something, and my parents knew something was just different, but they didn't know it was quite autism yet. Even the teachers didn't even say autism. They just did everything but that, which is pretty normal with females. And all through my adult years, I said, I've got to see what's going on. I got to seek out a diagnosis. So went online, sought some psychologist, and found a psychologist, got tested for 3 days, and there you go.
And you were diagnosed.
And I was diagnosed, yes.
Well, listen, I know that it's often said that for females, they often mask.
Yes.
Do you know what masking is? Can you share a little bit about that?
Masking is just basically pretending. You're just pretending to be someone you're not to fit that particular moment at the time. So
to kind of fit in.
It's just like putting a mask over your face, just cover up who you really are. And that's just what we tend to do. And especially with being diagnosed late, I did a lot of that. Just, of course, now I'm more out with my autism, but back when I was kind of hiding, I was masking a lot and just basically pretending to be somebody else.
Now, how old were you when you were diagnosed?
28 years old.
28. Wow. Wow. Now, what were you doing at that time in your life?
I was working as a nursing assistant at a senior daycare and just working, living life and working.
All right. And when you were diagnosed with autism, how did that impact your life?
Well, it was a sigh of relief that I knew what was going on, but it was time to start putting some work and, what's next, in terms of support and if I need certain support and just learning more about autism and me, learning about the new me now. So, but it was good to know to finally get some answers as to why I struggled growing up. So.
Right. And what were some of the early signs that you noticed maybe I don't know how old you were when you started to notice that maybe things were a little bit different than maybe some of your peers, but what are some of those early signs of things that you noticed about yourself?
The excessive shyness and, I got bullied a lot in school.
Okay.
Let's see, not catching on with my peers, just certain things I should know at my age group. Driving is a big example.
Okay.
And just still with cooking some things, needing help with cooking. Just notice I was delayed in a lot of things. Yeah. I'm like, why am I not able to do this stuff? So at my age, so yeah.
And it's funny that you say driving because I have a daughter, my youngest daughter is 18 years old, and it's like she and a lot of her peers, they're not interested in driving. Everybody wants to take Uber.
Oh my goodness.
They want people to chauffeur them around. And so where those things may not have been as normal then, they're even more common now.
Yeah.
So now what are some of the daily challenges that you faced?
Driving's one of them.
Okay.
Well, I would say driving and I would kind of speaking up for myself, advocating for myself in terms of just like if I'm at work and someone's getting on me and learning how to face that person directly versus having to go around and have a third person, stick it up for myself.
And so you are currently employed.
I am, yes,
Okay.
I do work.
Yes, and what is your occupation?
I'm a patient care tech. I work at Northside Hospital.
Okay, wonderful. That's exciting. That's exciting. So now, in terms of you initially getting that job or that interview, we know that the interview process can sometimes be very daunting,
Yes,
and very challenging for some people with autism. I won't say a lot, but for some people with autism. So what was that interview process like for you?
just like, again, I was masking, so it was a normal interview because I was masking, but just walked in there and she asked me questions, just answering the best I could, and that was it. Interviews I do really good with.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, good.
So it was not a problem with me.
Okay, well, good. That's great.
Yeah.
So now, during your interview process, if at any time during your interview that you feel like you had to share your diagnosis or disclose your diagnosis at any point?
It's funny because, like, all my jobs, I wanted to say it up front, but because the world hasn't still come to accept it, I'm afraid I probably wouldn't have got the job, so I would share it later on within my employment, like I did at this job. I share it once I get to know the boss and get them to like me, and then I'll say, hey, you know what, I'm autistic, but I've already got the job. They like me, so I'm protected. So I can share my diagnosis. But during the interview, I never really shared. So.
And thank you for sharing that, because I want to say to employers out there, we have to do better. We have to do better with opening opportunities, providing opportunities, learning what those best practices are for hiring people who are autistic. Because they're able to do the job, and oftentimes they're not given the opportunity. So I'm grateful that you were able to get through the interview, but we know that for so many autistics, they don't even get to to even have an opportunity to interview. So there's so much that needs to change, especially for adult autistics. So you being the advocate that you are is just simply amazing. Now talk about some of I know some of your strengths, but I want you to talk about some of your strengths and your talents that you that you have.
You've seen them. Well, I'm a Lego builder. I love puzzles. Matter of fact, a fun fact, if I can share it, when I was 7 years old, I could do a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Wow, amazing. I don't know that I'd have the patience even now to do a 1,000-piece puzzle. So
yeah.
And I know you say that you build Legos, but I think that you are more than just a Lego builder. I would consider you a master Lego builder.
Yes.
Ashley has some of the most amazing Lego builds that she's done, and I sit and I sometimes watch how you will post where you started the process.
Oh, yeah.
And for someone like me, it would probably take me months, if not weeks, to finish it. And then within a couple of days, you're done. And I just look and it's like, oh my goodness. And just some of the strengths that you have of having that attention span to be able to complete those type of tasks is amazing. Tell me, what is it about Legos that is so intriguing?
Just seeing the box. Sounds weird what I'm about to say. The feel of the Legos, the sound of them. I just love putting things together and seeing the finished product.
Yes. I love seeing the finished product as well. I love just seeing the entire process of it when you're going through it. So that's simply
Well, I just recently got done doing a Lego display of all my Legos.
Oh, wow. Well, we're going to have to get that.
Yes.
And share that information as well. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, again, for being here. And we are so grateful to have you join us on today. So is there anything else that you want to share that you like doing? I know that you have. Just go ahead.
Well, I can do like certain impressions, voiceovers and stuff like that. Very good picture memory. I remember people from like a long time ago. Just can gravitate to people. For being autistic, I can really relate to people really well. Like, I'm not like shy like that. I used to be, but I can meet a stranger and become friends right away. So like to write certain things, just have a pretty good writing skill. Not poetry, but I just like to write. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's good. So one of the things I want to ask you about, we're going to talk a little bit about advocacy. And I want you to share some of the maybe misconceptions and myths that people have about autism.
Sure. All right. That people, again, I guess it's like a big spectrum of things. So people think people with autism are either super, super smart or not smart or whatever. Like Rain Man is a good example. I don't know if you've seen Rain Man. With Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, if that was his name, I think,
Yes.
he played the mathematical savant, and numbers. But not all autistic folks are like that. With me personally, I'm not good at numbers. I'm good at words though. So the thing about the world is they want to paint autism as one picture, but it's not. Everybody has different levels of it, right? So, and with autism, it's just they think that you're just super smart, they computer whizzes, or only boys can have it. Only white males can have it. That's another whole set of issues. It's just, those are the main things I can see right now as far as the myths right now. And also, too, people think if you're autistic as a child, you don't grow up to be it. But I personally think if you're diagnosed as a child, you will grow into it. Yeah. And that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. Now, how do you advocate for yourself and for your community?
For myself, social media. As you see, I'm putting it all out. I don't care.
Yes.
I do it through my social media platforms, or I'll just do it word of mouth to trusted people. I may wear certain things like a bracelet or a shirt or something that says I'm autistic, or something that's, a lot of autism accepted stuff to kind of, hey, like, when you're supporting something, you're going to wear it, So I do that a lot. Podcasts. I have a walk that I do, which I'll talk about later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So now what I want to talk about is what kind of changes do you want to see in society for the acceptance of those with autism?
More acceptance, more inclusivity, especially with the job force, the job world. Not being afraid to come out during the interview. And that when you come out, that the people that receive that don't treat you like a little kid, or, that they understand you and use those strengths and have basically employers to seek out the strength of the autistic person. I know for me at my job personally, my bosses have told me, I even had an award here recently.
Yes, also you got to talk about that.
Oh yeah, sure. So I told my boss I was autistic, but she said, I pay very good attention to detail. Very sick on time, which gets on some people's nerves, but it does help in the medical field. I mean, I've got so many patients I've got to do certain things for, so I'm very sick on time, and always reminding the nurses even, hey, you forgot this, and I'm not even a nurse, and I'm telling them what to do.
Keeping everybody on track.
Yes, that's if that's how you say it. So I'm pretty much always just being the reminder person, and hey, you forgot this, and the nurses love when they have me as their tech, because I'm always like, gonna make sure that patient is gonna have what they need right when they need it and stuff. So I love being autistic in a way. It's fun. So
wonderful. Now, how has your experience in education been for you? When you were in school, what was your experience like?
It wasn't fun, I'm gonna be honest. Because I guess I struggled from literally, almost hate to say this, from kindergarten probably up until high school. But as I got to high school is when I started getting more, my brain started just catching on to things. I learned by memory. So, but in elementary and middle, my mom and dad just drove it into me. Continuously is how I got it. I learned by repetition, and even till the day still repetition, and I'm a visual learner, so they had to write things down, repeat things over and over. My mom would stay up late nights getting it drilled into me. Dad as well, and just was a lot of that's how I learned and got through, but it just wasn't a fun experience.
So it sounds like family has been very important in your life. Sometimes I've interviewed people where they talk about the challenges that they have of their family not understanding either themselves or their child. Tell me what it was like for you having the support of your family and how important that is for others.
Just being there, I had a mom and dad growing up, and just being there at the meetings, and there were, with me struggling a lot, there were a lot of meetings with the parents, which wasn't fun, but just them being there and listening and doing the best they could, and they did the best they could to get me through, and just being there and supportive and help me out, work with my teachers, when need be.
Which is important. And that communication is important as well.
Yes, yeah.
And we talk about inclusivity. I can't think of a more accepting circumstance than having your family support you and include you, not ostracize you, but make you feel like an adult that you are, the beautiful young lady that you are.
Thank you.
And I think that that's so important, and families need to understand that oftentimes if you don't know what to do, just ask.
Just ask.
Just ask. Right. Yeah. And although there are some who are not able to speak and not able to speak for themselves, find out from their caregiver ways in which you can support them even more, to help them feel more accepting into the family. Now, what type of advice would you give employers to create a more inclusive environment?
Well, just listen, because I know in my world, my personal experiences, is just listening. I like to vent to people, so just listening. Listen to that person. And I would like more employers to get educated on autism, because there are going to be people who are diagnosed or secretly or don't even know they even have it, to just learn about autism. Educate yourselves,
Exactly.
And just listen to the person, and ask that person, what can we do to accommodate you? Because every autistic person's different. Right. My needs may not be another person's needs, vice versa.
So glad you shared that, because everybody's needs are different. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about relationships and social life. What and how, I should say, do you navigate your relationship with family and friends?
I get along well with my family and friends. I'm the kind of person where I'm easy to make friends, but a lot of time it's hard to, that person, once they find I am autistic, they either tend to cut off and, I'm not gonna be your friend no more. So that is the bummer, I will admit. Not all of them, not all, but so I haven't. Some people, they can know I am, but then again, when I tell them, it's like, we're done with her. So yeah, but I make friends pretty easy. I love people.
And I know that you have a social group that you've organized. Can you talk
Awesome
about
Walkies.
that? Yes, talk about it.
I organized Awesome Walkies in 2020 when I was on this health kick, which I am. It's a long journey, but anyway. I said, man, I want to get my other autistic friends involved, and it was COVID, so we couldn't really do anything but walk outside and exercise. Most of the gyms were closed down or whatever, or you had to social distance and stuff. So I wasn't really going to the gym, but I was always walking. I said, man, it'd be great to have some walking buddies. And I said, we're awesome, and we walk, so Awesome Walkies. And I chose a park around where I lived, and it's been flourishing since then.
Wonderful. So how many members are part of Awesome Walkies?
Well, we started out at 5, and now we're up to like 20 or 30 now.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's growing. It's growing.
That is amazing, and I'm so glad you shared that. And once this is over, we'll be able to get information about Awesome Walkies so that they can contact you. For those who want to be part of Awesome Walkies, we definitely want you to take part of that, because we don't want anybody to feel alone or feel like they don't have a support system. And I'm sure that there are many conversations that take places along the walk, and just the social aspect of being together and having friends who understand one another, that they're not judgmental of each other, and people can be free to be themselves. So that's what's most important. Now, how do your interests help you connect with other people? So I know that you enjoy walking, you enjoy Legos, so is that something that people often reach out to you about? For support, or want to learn more, or want you to teach them or train them on how to do some of those things?
Unless I tell them, because they're not gonna know it looking at me. But I would just have to just say, hey, I like Legos, and I just kind of go based on their energy. If they don't like it, then it's fine. Okay. But I usually get more feedback with the walking than Legos and building. And not that I'm bringing gender to this, but it's hard finding other female builders, so I would like to find some other female builders.
All right, you hear that? She wants to find other female builders, so reach out. We can definitely connect you with Ashley. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Now, what are your hopes and dreams for the future?
To get the world to look at autism as a positive thing, and that, again, it's a lifetime thing. It doesn't just stop at childhood. You don't have to cure it or anything. Just to be all on one accord, just accept it, but mostly, especially in the workforce, because that's where I was having issues with, because I was diagnosed late and having a mask, and I just want to go on a job and be free, be myself, but not be judged for certain stems or things that I may do or want to do. So, yeah.
Well, you are such an amazing person, and I see all the wonderful things that you do. And is there anything more that you would like to do in an effort to change the world and how the world views and sees autism?
Keep advocating. I want to be a world speaker one day, paid or not paid. I just want to get my voice heard. And if you feel you're autistic, get diagnosed. It's never too late. Don't be ashamed, and just spread the positives about autism.
Wonderful. So. Now, the last thing I have a couple of more questions, but one of the last questions that I do want to ask you in this segment is to talk about how it feels for you to be an actual board member of Calculated Pathways.
Feels great. I've never been a board of anything in my whole life, so this is great. I thank you for the opportunity. I'm honored. I love it. It's great. I feel good.
Good. Well, we are certainly so glad to have you be part. Now, before we close on today, I want to find out from you 2 tips that you would like to share with our audience. And those tips are things that other people can do to help support autistic individuals, whether it be children, whether it be adults. I just want you to provide us with 2 tips. And you can think about that if you like, but 2 tips, important tips that you want the world to know how others can support autistics.
Okay. Sure. Oh, you would like to answer now? Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. Let's see. Listen, even if it doesn't make any sense, but listen is very important. Even if you can't provide a feedback, just listening is very important. And always know that once you met one autistic person, you've met one. Do not compare another person's journey with another. Everybody's different. So, and listening. Listen.
Very
important.
Yes, so. It is. Yes, it is. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners and viewers on today?
Like I say, just once you met one autistic person, you met one, and a child that is diagnosed with it grows into being an adult with it. So, and autism is a superpower.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, we are so elated again to have you with us on today. It's been awesome having this conversation with you. I always enjoy speaking with you, and always I want to help find opportunities for you. So anybody who's out there, if you have an opportunity for Ashley to come out and speak, just to kind of share her story, feel free to reach out to us. We will be more than happy to provide you with her contact information. Well, I'm also excited to share that we have a guest with us on today. I am going to hand Miracle over to you, Ashley. Ashley, just tell us about Miracle and how Miracle supports you.
So, a little background. I'm a Miracle baby. And so I was cleaning my garage out about a few years ago, and I saw this doll who her face was dented in. She had no cotton or anything. Didn't look like this. So I was like, man, I want to throw her away. But then I was like, nah, I can't. She had all her limbs. I said, I can't throw her away. She's just so cute. So I told my mom, she's so talented. And next thing I know, she got her face dent popped out and put cotton in her. And I just fell right in love. Basically saying how I relate to me because I'm a Miracle baby and how I went through a lot. And then look at me and then her, and when I'm down or stuff, she's so adorable. I just hug her and kiss her. She's just so cute. She means a lot to me. So
and Miracle is your therapy dog, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you know how you have therapy dogs or therapy, or you know how you go to senior centers and have these therapy dolls, whatever, for like seniors. Yes. Well, I think this would be good for autistic people as well to have a plushie or a doll in this case, or a teddy bear, something they can go to whenever they feel down or just need a hug or something.
And I know that for a lot of autistics, there are things that they have strong interest in or things that support them. For my son, Sonic the Hedgehog is it.
Okay. And
so,
that's good.
Yes,
That's
so
good.
he loves Sonic and he takes Sonic everywhere
Really?
he
Okay.
goes and he talks to him, and yes, that is his support system. And so,
Yeah.
and it's okay. And whatever it is that you need to support yourself in your daily life, because we all need some kind of support,
Something,
some
whether it
type
be
of
the
interaction.
doll or
Absolutely,
something,
absolutely.
yeah.
So yes, so I'm glad that Miracle is part of your life
Yes.
and there to support you. So that is absolutely amazing. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing Miracle with us
You're welcome.
on today as well. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us on today, the Spectrum of a Color podcast. It has been such a blessing having you with us. You have inspired me. I'm sure you've inspired our audience members, and we're just so grateful to have you with us. You all have been watching and listening to a Spectrum of Color podcast, and I will end with this. If you can't be anything else, be intentional in your words, in your thoughts, in your deeds, and remember to always be kind and inclusive. Now, if you like this podcast, I ask that you hit that subscribe button so you will be notified of any upcoming episodes, or visit our website at calculatedpathways.org or on social media, Calculated Pathways INC. Until next time, you have yourselves a wonderful and blessed day.